Imagine this. Two ancient rivals, their shared border, a scar of forgotten mass graves from wars that devoured hundreds of thousands. Now, in 2026, the ghosts rise again. What if a single incursion ignites the Horn of Africa's deadliest blaze yet? Ethiopia unleashes a furious accusation. Eritrean troops storming Tigray's frontiers, embedding deep with heavy arms, forging pacts with rebel shadows to shatter Addis Ababa's fragile hold. Eritrea strikes back. These are brazen, fabricated lies, a desperate ploy to mask Ethiopia's crumbling empire. But as armies amass under cover of night, drones hum overhead, and the Red Sea's vital arteries pulse with proxy threats. This isn't distant diplomacy, it's a live wire, sparking toward catastrophe. Welcome to Obscura, your unflinching portal into the concealed architectonics of power, where we unravel the threads before they snap. Buckle in. Because this fuse isn't just lit, it's coiling tighter, and the explosion could reshape continents. Will you witness the unraveling? That incendiary fuse first crackled to life on February 7, 2026, when Ethiopia's foreign ministry fired off a blistering, meticulously detailed letter to the African Union and UN Security Council. A diplomatic missile loaded with irrefutable claims of Eritrean aggression. At its core, unauthorized troop surges across sovereign lines into Tigray's volatile heartlands, complete with armored convoys, artillery emplacements, and covert supply lines funneling weapons to insurgent factions hell-bent on undermining Addis Ababa's tenuous authority. Drawing from a mosaic of intelligence, ground reports from Tigray's beleaguered communities, high-resolution satellite captures by Reuters and critical threats analysts dating back to January 29th, and even drone footage leaks, these incursions paint a picture of calculated encroachment. Convoys slithering under radar, sporadic ambushes lighting up the night, villages emptied as families scramble across barren hillsides, their lives upended once more by the specter of war. Eritrea's retort landed like a thunderclap, swift, vehement, and absolute. Officials in Asmara branded the allegations as orchestrated propaganda, a smokescreen for Ethiopia's internal hemorrhaging, economic collapse, ethnic fractures, and political unrest boiling over. Yet, the evidence on the ground betrays the denial. Ethiopian forces bolstering northern defenses with state-of-the-art artillery batteries, surveillance drones swarming the skies, and rapid response infantry units digging in. Eritrea countering with reserve mobilizations, border fortifications, and heightened patrols that echo the eerie prelude to past conflicts. This isn't an isolated flare-up. It's the festering aftermath of the 2022 Pretoria Peace Agreement, a fragile truce that stanched the Tigray War's bloodshed but left gaping wounds of betrayal and ambition. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's relentless quest for Red Sea access, eyeing Eritrea's prized Assab port as Ethiopia's economic lifeline, clashes headlong with President Isaias Afwerki's unyielding fortress mentality, where every inch of soil is sacred, defended to the death. The unfolding facts forge a chilling narrative of peril. But to grasp the true abyss staring back, we must venture beyond the surface, into the labyrinthine shadows where alliances morph and betrayals brew, pulling the region toward an inescapable vortex. Plunging into those labyrinthine shadows reveals the most electrifying reversal in Horn geopolitics. Eritrea and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, once mortal foes whose savage confrontations during the Tigray War etched atrocities into the region's soul, now whisper of uneasy truces, exchanging intelligence dossiers and sketching joint strategies in hidden enclaves. Intelligence drips from 2025 onward expose discreet summits in neutral territories, pragmatic handshakes forged not from forgiveness, but from raw necessity. A united front to erode ABY's iron-fisted centralization. For the TPLF, Eritrea emerges as an unlikely shield against federal overreach. For Eritrea, the TPLF morphs into a precision tool to jab at Ethiopia's underbelly without committing full forces. Survival's cruel alchemy turns enemies into expedient allies. But at what cost to the fragile peace? Widen the frame, and the canvas explodes into the Red Sea's sprawling proxy battlefield, a high-tension arena where local grudges entwine with global machinations. Ethiopia's audacious 2024 Somaliland Memorandum of Understanding, granting naval basing rights in exchange for recognition, already sent shockwaves through Mogadishu and Asmara, fracturing alliances like brittle glass. Now infuse the mix with Houthi missile salvos, disrupting Yemen's coasts, the UAE-Saudi rivalry, funneling billions into proxy armies, Qatar's subtle counterplays, and Egypt's existential dread over Ethiopia's Nile-damming megaprojects that threaten downstream lifelines. Eritrea's overlooked yet pivotal ports, Assab and Massawa, suddenly gleam as strategic jewels. The UAE props Abiy for regional stability and trade dominance, while Egypt courts Isaias to encircle Ethiopian ambitions, turning water wars into potential proxy flashpoints. Envision the nightmare cascade from a single misfire. Iranian shadow networks slipping arms via Yemeni backdoors, Turkish drones raining precision strikes to tip scales, Sudanese border chaos sucking in more combatants, displacing not thousands but millions in a humanitarian tsunami, severing vital Red Sea trade routes that carry 12% of global commerce, and spiking oil prices to crisis levels worldwide. From exhaustive tracking of these volatile currents over years, the peril registers as profoundly acute. Abiy's inflammatory oratory mirrors his pre-Tigray hubris. Isaias's storied intransigence brooks no compromise. Yet, a gossamer thread of salvation dangles, bolstered AU border verification patrols, intertwined with Saudi Arabia's discreet, high-stakes back-channel mediations. If only pride yields to pragmatism before the point of no return. This intricate web poses the heart-pounding enigma haunting the Horn. Can this teetering restraint endure against mounting pressures? Or are we spectators to the slow-motion genesis of an all-consuming maelstrom? Because if this volatile path veers irrevocably toward destruction, the shockwaves won't halt at borders. They'll engulf the continent in a firestorm of suffering and upheaval. The bold, clear-eyed assessment here cuts through the fog. We're locked in a brittle, cold standoff for the fleeting present, where bluster overshadows bloodshed. Calculated interventions from global heavyweights, Washington's subtle USAID diplomatic nudges, Brussels' EU-funded peace initiatives, and Gulf monarchies' lavish incentive packages could yet corral the chaos into meaningful summits, averting the unthinkable, but linger on the razor edges. An errant drone strike piercing the night, a border patrol's panicked volley, or a rebel ambush spiraling out of control. And by mid-2026, we plunge into unrelenting hostilities, with proxy legions swarming like locusts, supply lines severed, economies pulverized, and the Horn's resilient peoples enduring yet another epoch of famine, exile, and grief. And the very architectonics of power, these invisible scaffolds of influence and ambition, demand a radical pivot. Not hollow declarations from distant capitals, but boots-on-the-ground international verification squads patrolling every contested kilometer, fused with ironclad dialogue mandates that pierce through egos before they ossify into catastrophe. Heed history's blood-soaked echoes, the 1998-2000 Eritrea-Ethiopia War, a senseless inferno sparked by a minor territorial squabble, yet consuming vast treasures and souls for generations, stands as an indelible cautionary specter we dare not reprise. Thus, we confront the precipice that has loomed through every twist of this analysis. Will steely, cool-headed calculation triumph, safeguarding a precarious equilibrium? Or will inexorable forces propel the Horn into an abyss of renewed devastation, where the cost is measured not in borders, but in broken lives? If these labyrinthine fault lines, the treacherous alliances, the looming proxy infernos, the heart-stopping teeter on the brink, have ensnared your attention and left you craving to navigate these escalating developments in the Horn and global power arenas, hit subscribe to Obscura right this instant. Activate notifications for the unyielding daily pulse, your essential shield against the unknown. That's the perilously narrow tightrope the Horn of Africa navigates today, a precarious equilibrium where every shift could spell salvation or ruin. Now, seize the narrative. Dive into the comments with your razor-sharp prediction. War in 2026, yes or no? What hidden factor tips the scale? Fuel the debate and propel this breakdown far and wide. Collective awareness might just bend the arc toward peace. For instantaneous, unfiltered updates and even deeper excavations, lock in on X at @Ethio-Eritrea. Remain relentlessly vigilant. The tapestry of power weaves onward, and the next thread could unravel everything. This is Obscura, where shadows yield to truth.